In the 1980s and 90s, few places felt as exciting on a Friday night as the video rental store. By the peak of the boom, there were more than 25,000 shops across America. From tiny family-run storefronts to the bright blue and yellow glow of Blockbuster. On Friday nights, families lined up to grab the newest hit. Kids wandered the aisles picking their favorites, and the ritual of choosing a movie became just as important as watching it. This wasn't just about VHS tapes. It was a cultural experience that defined an era. Before the bright glow of Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, video rentals began in much smaller places. In the early 1980s, thousands of mom-and-pop stores popped up across the country. Their shelves were smaller, the selection more limited, but the feeling of walking in and choosing a movie was brand new and unforgettable. At first, there were two competing formats, VHS and Betamax, but it didn't take long before VHS became the clear winner. For most families, it was their very first chance to bring the big screen into the living room. Some shop owners even set aside the newest releases under the counter for their favorite customers. These little neighborhood stores were the birthplace of America's home video culture, and they sparked a movement that would soon grow far beyond the corner shop. Those early stores may have been small, but they created something unforgettable: the excitement of bringing a movie home. They set the stage for the video rental boom that would soon sweep across America. By the mid-1990s, video rentals had become part of everyday American life, and Blockbuster sat at the center of it. Within only a few years, the company had grown to more than 9,000 stores worldwide, thousands in the United States, with hundreds more across Canada, Europe, and even Asia. That familiar blue and yellow sign became shorthand for movie night, instantly recognizable in suburbs and city streets alike. Inside, one feature drew everyone first: the new releases section at the front. That's where tonight's pick lived. On busy Friday nights, shelves could be cleared fast, and many of us remember walking in only to find that the most popular title was already gone. A little frustration, yes, but part of the chase that made the ritual memorable. Renting was a simple routine. You brought the case to the counter, handed over your membership card, and the clerk tied the rental to your account. By the late 90s, Blockbuster reported tens of millions of registered customers, around 65 million at its peak, so having a card felt almost universal. Near checkout, many stores sold microwave popcorn and sodas, small extras that helped turn a night at home into a true movie night. And every tape carried that familiar reminder: be kind, please rewind. It wasn't just a slogan, it became part of the culture, a phrase that everyone from kids to grandparents can still recite today. Policies varied, but what no one forgets are the late fees. In 2000 alone, they generated about $800 million for Blockbuster, a reminder of how much those extra charges shaped the rental experience. Most stores also had a simple drop box at the entrance, so you could return a movie after hours without waiting in line. By the 1990s, Blockbuster wasn't only about movies. Their shelves filled with video games for Nintendo, Sega, and later PlayStation. For kids, renting a game for the weekend was often as exciting as picking a film, and for parents, it was far cheaper than buying one outright. But Blockbuster wasn't alone. Its biggest rival, Hollywood Video, opened in 1988 and grew quickly to nearly 1,900 stores across the United States. At first glance, the experience looked familiar: bright signs, wide aisles, and rows of new releases. But Hollywood Video set itself apart in several ways. One difference customers noticed right away was the packaging. Rentals often came in cases with the film's original cover art, rather than the plain clamshell boxes so common at Blockbuster. Inside the store, the atmosphere felt less corporate, with layouts that encouraged browsing and a design that some thought looked more like a modern entertainment shop than a video library. Hollywood Video also leaned heavily into gaming. Their selection of titles for Nintendo, Sega, and later PlayStation was larger than most competitors, and many locations eventually included a dedicated Game Crazy section, where entire walls were devoted to video games. It was a major draw for younger renters and helped Hollywood Video build a loyal base. At its peak, Hollywood Video stood as a true national competitor to Blockbuster. And while it never matched Blockbuster's size, for many communities it became the preferred stop, a store that offered more time, more choice, and a slightly different flavor of the Friday night movie ritual. Depending on where you lived, other names filled the map: Family Video, Movie Gallery, Hastings, West Coast Video. None ever matched Blockbuster's size, but all carried the same rhythm, walking the aisles, debating choices, and turning an ordinary evening into something special. Different signs, same tradition, an era when choosing the movie was half the fun. As the decade drew to a close, the familiar look of rental shelves began to change. The chunky VHS cassettes that had filled the stores for years were now sharing space with sleek silver discs, the DVD. For many customers, it felt like stepping into the future. No rewinding, better picture and sound, bonus features, and cases slim enough to pack the walls with even more titles. Blockbuster and its competitors moved fast to keep up. By the early 2000s, entire sections of the store were devoted to DVDs, often with the same movie available in both formats, so no one left disappointed. For a while, the industry felt refreshed, and families eagerly swapped their old rental habits for this new technology. But DVDs weren't perfect. Remember bringing one home, hitting play, and realizing the movie kept skipping or freezing because the disc was scratched? A different kind of frustration. And one more thing we all had to live with in the rental days. Looking back, the rise of DVDs gave video stores a burst of new life. What felt like the beginning of a fresh era turned out to be the last great chapter in the story of video rental. While DVDs gave video stores new life, a bigger shift was already on the horizon. In 1997, a small company called Netflix launched a rental-by-mail service, letting customers order DVDs online and receive them in their mailbox. No late fees, no return trips to the store. A simple idea that quickly caught on. By the mid-2000s, Netflix introduced streaming, and suddenly the future of home entertainment didn't come in a box at all. Movies arrived instantly, without shelves, cards, or return slots. For video rental chains, it was the beginning of the end. One by one, the big names closed their doors. Hollywood Video and Movie Gallery both shut down. Hastings disappeared, and even the giant itself, Blockbuster, filed for bankruptcy in 2010. The last to hold on was Family Video, with stores across the Midwest. Remarkably, they kept renting movies until 2020, when the pandemic finally forced them to close. Today, just a single Blockbuster remains, in Bend, Oregon. Half store, half time capsule. It stands as a living museum of what video rental once meant. For millions of people, it's a symbol of an era that has come and gone, but never been forgotten. Today, movies are only a click away. It's faster, cheaper, and easier than ever. But in that convenience, something was lost. We no longer make the trip together, wander the aisles, or feel the anticipation of picking the perfect film for the night. For families, that Friday ritual was more than just renting a tape. It was part of growing up. Kids begging for their favorite movie, parents weighing the new release against an old favorite, friends planning sleepovers around what they found on the shelves. Looking back now, video rental stores gave us more than entertainment. They gave us shared moments, evenings on the couch, laughter with friends, and a piece of our youth. The movies ended when the credits rolled, but the memories of those nights have lasted far longer.